Hey, love bugs, what's up? I hope you're having a good morning, noon, night, whenever this video may reach you. Do your girl a favor and hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you can get that thing whenever I upload a new video. So today, we are going to be talking about part 2. We're doing our second half of the watch party with Mr. Derrick Jackson. Just Derrick Cheetah can't keep it in his pants Jackson, okay? And we got to get into what he was saying about his wife this time around. So waiting for a few of my love bugs to join me. Come on over, baby. Come on over, love bugs. So we can get this party started. Yes. Hey, Majestic Queen. Hey, Janetta. What's going on? Waiting for a few more of y'all to join me. We're going to skim through. Hey, NOR Free Thinker. Hey, Corey. Hey, what's up? Shouts out to Andrew for the Cash App. I appreciate that. Media New Post. Hey, Ebony Smith. How are you? Lakeisha Chantel. What is going on? I hope everybody is having a great day, a good evening. What's up? You loved the laugh from that last night. Thank you so much, boo cakes. Okay, so we about to head on over to these other sides of these YouTube streets, back on over to the Dear Wifey podcast. And we're going to get into this man. Chat. Y'all. Deflect. It's giving deflection. It's giving deflect. Okay, fair use. Shout outs once again to Dear Future Wifey podcast.
But I still had to work to make money. And so for me,
so basically he's talking about, him trying to reconcile after they broke up that one time once, before they actually got married. And this man, I just don't believe none of what he's saying, because he really makes it seem like he put in so much work. And I feel like he breadcrumbed her. I feel like he gave her the bare minimum. And whatever it was that he was doing, he felt like it was justified because he was the breadwinner, although she was working for him. Y'all, financial abuse is a real thing.
I was like, I want to be home. I want to be home with my babies, but the first couple years as they're infants and toddlers and we sitting there game planning, I'm like, it's going to look like this, and this. I'm going to have to grind. I'm putting some stuff together so we can have residual money. And then with that, we had this whole plan, basically multiple homes, mama's coming down and moving. And I was like, I don't want to abandon ship from all of that. And of course the pressure and so on. But man, we were breaking down toward the end, man, even in the engagement.
And then what made you press forward?
Exactly what I said. The pressure, the plan, like, don't give up on it. Like,
you heard what he said, the pressure. If you read through the lines, this man is saying that he gave her a shut up wedding ring. He gave her a shut up ring. He also mentioned how Danae was like, yo, I'm not going to let you see your kids. And like I was saying, he did not want to go through a public lynching, what he would have experienced with having a baby out of wedlock and then like not being there for his kids, because the woman, they're able to spin a narrative in their favor when it does come to children and like using the children for collateral and like weaponizing the children and using the children for leverage. That absolutely happens. I'm not going to sit up here and act like women ain't trifling. Danae, I believe him when he said that. She was like, yo, you're not going to be a part of your kids' life. You ain't going to see them. And because he had abandonment issues growing up, he absolutely was trying to do whatever it took to keep himself present in his children's lives and also to keep his feet clean as far as his public persona was. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Like, somehow, some way, we still got to make this work.
And then how'd you recalibrate and say, let's get married?
Honestly, we just went through with the wedding. You kind of riding that high. Her uncles came down. Unfortunately, her dad had passed, so he wasn't there, but that male presence was there on her end. A little bit before that, I had talked to her mom. Me and her mom didn't have the greatest relationship, but she gave me a blessing to marry her daughter. So all of this stuff just felt like it was coming full circle. So on the wedding day, my mama there, my uncle, everybody on both our sides of the family is there. It's beautiful. And it's like, all right, maybe now we can kind of wash away some of the stress that was going into here of planning the wedding and all that and get back to the plan. We're gonna save the world, and we also gonna break generational curses, and we're gonna raise up these beautiful children.
And what happened?
Not that. The thing was about
what happened was he could not keep it in his pants.
Good week or two of us having a honeymoon phase, a honeymoon break. But again, I was still, just my experience was, okay, I clearly haven't been perfect. Actually, in the engagement, it was after the counseling session. I went and had lunch with a girl. And that's when I got kind of shook, like, man, you can't go back. You can't go back. And I didn't sleep with her, but I that was cheating. That was totally, wrong or what have you.
So all you had lunch. You didn't get a hand job.
This man lies like a Persian rug.
No, nothing. But we had texting and stuff. So I had inappropriate conversations and stuff like that.
Was it somebody you messed around with in the past?
No, never messed around with her before. But it was a girl I was clearly attracted to, and I knew better than to go and even have lunch with her. And I went, sneaking around and stuff. So
you had plans to smash. Keep it 100.
No, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm trying to think back, but you're talking about 2017, 6 years ago. I absolutely would have if we got into the same vicinity. But at that point, I was just in my feelings. And like, man, I just need to get away, be around a female, whatever.
He takes no accountability. Y'all, I watched some of this, and I'm living life. I have things to do. So I was watching bits and pieces, and it just seems like throughout the duration of all of this, he basically blamed him cheating on having resentment toward Danae, on him feeling rejected, on him feeling neglected. Like, he takes no accountability. He claims that he really wanted to be a married man, and he would have preferred that over, stepping outside and sleeping around and digging and dodging, and how she even presented him with the idea of being able to have other women and still maintain their marriage, and that's not what he wanted. And it's a crock. I don't believe it.
But that was in like mid 2017. So cut all that off. Going forward, I may have had conversations with girls at most, but like the worst thing about me is I was still maybe a flirt, maybe responding to something like that. But now that we married, okay, there's no chicks or whatever. We focus. We got this plan. It's 2018, and we're still having a ton of disconnect. We would come together for a little bit, and we would be intimate, and we would be friends. But we're disconnecting a lot. And this is going.
So why would you marry her? Who gets married to somebody with all of these problems, all of this disconnect, all of this resentment? Why would you marry her? We know it was for his image. It was for the public persona. It was for his business. It's because he didn't want to have to split his assets. We already know that. He didn't want to have to pay child support. We know that. And she was helping him. She was actively helping him to build his brand. She was helping to manage his career. She was. It just is what it is. Danae was an asset. She was a woman that was going to rear his children the way that he wanted to. He had enough control over her to where he could control the way things went and like tell her what to do. And she worshiped him. He also fueled her. She also fueled him. Narcissistic people are constantly looking for a supply. And she was his supply. Just be honest. Oh, I wanted my family and I was a family man. And I'm like, no, it's a lie. Like a Persian rug.
Going into the birth of our son. So again, I'm thinking pregnancy emotions, it's always something. But then on my end, I'm just wearing thin.
That part.
It's been a year-long engagement, which was, really tough for us both, I'm sure. I know something is wrong. No, I ain't doing everything perfect, but I'm trying. At this point now, I'm just I'm opening up the doors on everything financially. I'm talking about new Range Rover, new this, new that. Then I'm still rubbing feet. I'm still asking how her day was, trying to be emotionally connected, trips out the country, just whatever. Because I'm thinking maybe.
Yeah, he's only doing that while she's pregnant with his child. And how often was he doing that? Because he absolutely, y'all, I just think this is a crock of, I think he's lying. I don't believe nothing coming out of this man's mouth. Is it just me?
Maybe she doesn't feel invested in, or maybe she don't feel soft life enough. So it would happen for a little bit where we good, and then we would kind of disconnect again. And then baby boy is born. And then now we kind of riding the high of that. So it was a lot of volatile ups and downs, go through the whole year. And now her mom's friend, who claims to be like a prophet, we go and meet with her. And this started the kind of, I call it honestly, a little bit too far, the super religious thing that started happening. And the prophet friend of her mom was like, y'all gonna have a lot to go through and y'all going this, that, and the other. And then she started speaking and I ain't like that. And we kind of clashed about that because it's connected to her mom. But this is the first year of the marriage where it's like, man, now we're really, really falling apart.
She said, y'all gonna go through a lot of stuff?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, it's almost like the Zodiacs. They'd be like, yeah, today you're gonna blink. Like this, yeah, it's life. We're gonna go through life. You know what I'm saying?
Today we're gonna blink.
I just was weirded out by the whole, I didn't understand at that time prophecy, and I believe in it now. I've met totally legitimate.
So when you look back on it, was she right or wrong?
Yeah, she was that about that. Yeah, she was absolutely right. We went through all kind of stuff. Absolutely. But for me, it was.
Of course she was right, because they were already actively going through stuff. So that lady wasn't doing anything but reiterating what the hell y'all issues already was. She already knew, because Danae, y'all, let me let him finish talking, and I'm gonna really tell y'all what I think about this part. Like,
it's just a weird dynamic to introduce
early on in your marriage. Like,
yeah.
It up for doom at the beginning.
And then it started the whole, what God told me and God said, and I'm like, you my wife, not my pastor.
Oh, she started saying that to you from that relationship.
Yes. And then they formed a little 4-person church, which I had a different name for it at the time.
Oh, he said a 4-person church, which I had a different name for it at the time. What's the different name? A cult.
What name you call it?
Cult.
A cult. So
you heard him? He's a cult. A cult. So he basically said that Danae Jackson was in a cult. I mean, we could all, at the end of the day, organized religion, organized rituals, all of that is occultic. We just don't like it because it has a negative connotation. But churches, all of that, is literally cults. It is what it is. Argue with your mother.
Oh, so she was going to this 4-person church. Now she began to prophesy over you. What prophecy?
It didn't get super heavy on that until 2019, the actual prophesying and reading prayers off a piece of paper and stuff like that. But it was 2018. This is when I got the haircut by the girl that I used to deal with whenever we were.
So basically, he's about to talk about getting his haircut by a girl that basically was a dyke, that was a bull dagger. And Danae found out, because she's a stalker, she very much has investigator PI energy, where you could tell that she's going through everybody's social media and trying to find out and sniffing for bones, only to find nothing. And even when you find something or nothing, is going to be bigger than what it needs to be, because you're insecure and you don't trust him. Once the trust is broken in a relationship, it's very hard to repair. It really is. So it's kind of like, either let that man cheat in peace or leave him alone. Because, girl,
single. Now, I'm thinking it's okay, and I hope she don't feel no kind of way about me saying this, but we got to be real. At this point, I honestly thought she had transformed, like transgendered over. She wasn't as the same person, okay? Like definitely homeboy. Looking at
the one that cut your hair.
The one that cut my hair.
Okay, all right.
So when I couldn't get people to cut my hair, and this became a big deal. This was like one of the major fallouts before we really started to just plummet. The girl that posted me, I was at her barbershop, but she posted me and put hearts on it or something like that. But at this point, hope she don't get offended. She looked like a boy. And I saw that she looked like a boy. I'm like, oh, it's all good.
I don't give a damn. Ninjas be screwing dykes and lesbians and bull daggers. They got a coochie too. I don't care what she look like. She got a hole, that thing get wet, a man is gonna stick it. And we all know that. Ask your homeboy if he would sleep with a dyke. And I bet you he say yeah. And will. And some of them do. How'd I be when I ended up pregnant and stuff?
Now, you know what I'm saying? People, this is a new age. She a man. She living her truth, his truth, what have you. Nope. Danae found out about it by seeing that story. Danae is one of them passionate people both ways. And it's a beauty when it's a beauty. But she also knows how to hit you where it hurts. What to say to you, how to say it. So she said some stuff, man. And at this point, I'm like, I'm tapped. Now I'm really tapped.
Did she call you gay?
No, she didn't call me gay.
I thought you said that because of the picture of the girl.
She looked like a street hooper or something like that, man.
We gotta change.
Record.
For the first time.
And then 2019 came around.
2019, it's like, oh, get back on track. Just, bygones, forget about it. Never happened. And then it was about 7-8 months in where we still was having the same type of clashes. And even though I wasn't doing anything, it's like, man, I can't be around her. I can't, I need my peace.
But it wasn't the same. Was it the same woman that you would go back to, or you went back to your old ways?
Because I didn't want basically old ways. So my whole thing, and it's crazy.
You gotta say, if you had sex with the same person over and over again,
it's going to build up something.
It's going to build up something. So you want to make it where it's multiple people, so it's not so meaningful.
Which is wild to even think.
Honestly, that type of cheating would be more palatable for me as opposed to emotionally cheating, building a bond with somebody, paying her rent, flying her out, doing all these other things. If you literally just sticking and dicking and dodging, I feel like I would be able to forgive that a little more. And this is not me saying that I condone infidelity, but realistically speaking, there's like a billion people on this earth. And if you get with a man that's unevolved and that lacks discipline, and this is what I wish that Derrick Jaxn would just come out and say, I lack discipline. I can't control myself. I can't curb my urges. And a lot of men suffer with this and they say, oh, it's just because men can't be faithful. Men can't be. No, there's men out here that literally don't dick and dodge. It is a thing. It exists. There's men out here that's monogamous. There's men out here that's, you know, able to just be with one woman and love on one woman. But then there's some men that just cannot control themselves. And just say that. You have no discipline.
About the justifications and exceptions, like, well, this ain't so bad because I ain't letting them fall in love. It's not a relationship. It's just something physical or whatever. But that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, it's real.
That's exactly what I was like. And man, don't let it go too far with one. And then you had to mix that. Like, I ain't saying you got to, but I was mixing that in with, all right, man, stop. Just like, all right, I got it off. I got that off my system.
Just start back
get
over
back,
clean.
get back in. And then we'll go a good couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, and we clash again.
What's interesting is that y'all never completed the counseling sessions that y'all have for premarital counseling, and those same issues didn't do nothing but follow you into the marriage.
Absolutely.
And so now we see the clash of the titans take place in 2020, where she said that she left, and she left, and no notice. You basically come home, your family gone.
Something like that. So what happened was I was like, enough of this cheating stuff. I'm done again. This time I'm going back in. If it don't work, it don't work. It's
really him thinking that he could just say, oh, I'm not going to cheat for 1 month or 2 weeks and I'm absolved of all of the cheating and the dicking and dodging. It's that part for me. He lied like a Persian rug. Sir, just because you ain't go out and sleep with a random woman for 2 hours, that does not absolve you of the fact that you is a doggedy dog. He's a dog. You ain't absolved of that. He really believed this in his heart. It ain't a delusion. I cannot with these men.
It was in like end of December of 2019, actually. I think the January 1st, 2nd, something like that. And I burnt every bridge that I had.
What is looking like burning bridges? What is
burning bridges? Is like, I don't want to continue this any further.
I mean, do you say that to the women?
Yes.
So you have a conversation and say,
I'd send a text. I was sending a text.
Are you sending a text?
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't finna mess around with you no more. I
don't want to mislead you. I don't see this going any further. We're done. Don't expect to hear from me. That kind of thing.
And I'm tapping back into my wife, or do you say?
I wouldn't even say that. I think at that time for those messages, I just was saying like, we done. But they knew what it was. They knew I was on the outs. We were estranged. We were.
Now this makes me wonder, right? Because usually when you have mistresses and you're not pouring love into them and you're not giving them time, then you must be giving them money. He had to be tricking. Like, you giving these women money, that you taking money out of your home. Oh my God, this whole thing just makes me upset.
In different all these things.
Yeah.
So none of them really gave me too much flack about it at that time. But for me, I'm like, I'm dipping in out of giving myself excuses. So sometimes I do, and sometimes I feel guilty. I feel like the hypocrite I was being. I feel like, man, I'm leading people, I'm preaching, and I'm counseling, whatever, but I'm not living it.
Right.
And so I would, the resentment had me feeling like, well, in this situation, it's different because I feel like this. I done rolled out the red carpet. I done been everything she asked me to be and more, and it's been spat on. That's just resentment talk.
How has it been spat? Sir, you cheated on, you had her passing women in your goddamn hallway. You think that a woman is just going to be able to get over that? That's where you got the game effed up at. That's where you got the game effed up. Because I don't know who told you that she was just going to forget about all of that. Especially somebody as mentally fragile and unstable as Zanea. We don't know her, but this is the way that she presents. And even the way that she speaks about herself and the way that he speaks about her, you can tell that she was unstable. She was unstable when she met him.
And having you thinking that, oh, it's cool because.
Yeah,
but then,
justified.
But then that truth really hits you at some point when you talking about it and somebody say something like, I'm glad there are men like you in the world.
And then that conviction hit.
Honestly, bro, I ain't even that kind of man in the world.
How did it feel? She said one day she called you out, and this was early on before y'all got married. She said, do you even believe the stuff that you say?
Yeah, this was back in North Carolina.
Right.
I felt like I understood what she was saying, but I was like, why is this the first time you referencing my career? Because, okay, I didn't just talk about don't cheat. A lot of my stuff was about, leave thoughtful gifts, write poems, write love letters, let her know how you feel, all these different efforts, sacrifice, breakfast in bed. These are things I all did. And I was like, why is it that stuff is obsolete? And the only thing that exists to you is the time I've now come up.
Wait, but were you consistently doing these things, or were you only doing these things to get back in her good graces after you cheated, humiliated her, probably brought her back God knows what? We don't know what the inside of her panties was looking like dealing with you. Because, sir, pH all out of whack, sir. And you send up here talking about, I bought her a car, I gave her breakfast. And he strikes me as the love bombing type. Like, oh, I did you dirty. I emotionally and mentally abused you. I led to you being unstable. And now let me try to make it up. So I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be on my P's and Q's for about a month. And then I'm going to get back to dog walking you. That's what it gives. That's what it gives.
Up short. That's whenever you ask me about this stuff.
Yeah. And
Sir, it's upsetting me and my homegirls.
Is, and she may ghost me for a week or two and I can't talk to nobody. But most of that we were up until I would say about May or June. And then that was whenever it was like, we're getting divorce lawyers. She's basically letting me know it's over with. I don't care what you do. And yeah.
During that time when she left, did you find that as an opportunity to say, okay, she gone. I don't know what happened to this marriage anyway. Were you like, finna wild out again? I'm single now.
The only time when I started wilding out was when my birthday came in July. Before that, I was just flying up there. I probably
so you tell me during that time she's gone. Now you want to be faithful,
right? So I mean, right? No, exactly. Now that she's gone, now I want to prove myself. But the thing was, again,
did y'all hear that? This is exactly what I'm saying. Now that she's gone, now I want to prove myself. So you're only good. You're only a stand-up guy. You're only that family man. You're only the picture of what it is that she wants you to be when you're trying to get back in her good graces. This is not something that comes to you naturally. This is not who you are by nature. It doesn't seem. You're only doing this so that you could appear to be on the up and up, so that you could get your way. You could continue to get your supply, your helper, your secretary. I was your lover and your secretary, working every day of the week. That part.
And I gave my life to Christ in February.
Right.
And I was trying my best to walk the straight line. This was before she left, before she knew anything. I was in my truck and I had a conversation with God, like, I got away from you. Earlier in my years, I was with you, and now look at how things have turned out. So now I'm walking a separate walk from her. We walk in this thing for marriage, but I'm personally trying to be aligned. Clearly I'm not good at this, whatever. So in this time, I'm just whatever it takes to close the gap. If she's not wanting to talk to me this week or what have you, let me be with the kids, because they were begging for me, especially Marley. I would hear Marley crying for me, and she would ask me, when I'm going to see you again? Mm-hmm. Honestly, we all at the mercy of your mama's. I ain't say this, but I was like thinking to myself, we all at the mercy of your mama's anger with me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to soothe her. I was just trying to be.
Not we all at the mercy of your mama's anger with me. No, we're all at the mercy of you being a terrible husband. Like, what? What is going on?
Close.
Because God, y'all, oh my God, it's the deflection and the no accountability for me, y'all.
And if everybody else on pandemic, I'm flying. I probably spent like $20,000, $30,000 just in that time between flights, Airbnbs, and everything else.
She wouldn't let you come stay with, no, she was with her mama.
She wouldn't even tell me and her mom.
She told me her mama told her not to talk to you,
Her mama was so heavily involved in our marriage, in our restoration. The counselors, the pastors all said, y'all can't make this work if she's involved.
Yeah.
She was in the counseling session with her, like marriage counseling session with her.
Okay, now I agree with him on this. Because there's no reason why her mother should have been in a marriage counseling sessions with her. Like, what? I think that's inappropriate. And he said that the mother was in marriage counseling sessions with the two of them together. And that the mother would be on the phone while they were having conversations and giving her 2 cents. And I think that you should leave your family out of your relationship. I don't agree with that, because at the end of the day, what you will accept, what you might forgive, what may not end up being a big deal to you later on, your family is never going to forget that. And your family will forever hold that image of your partner in their mind. So you could be like, he did this, and then you're over it 2 days later, but your family is going to always be like, you got back with him, he did this, he did that, he did that. It's never going to be okay. And you're setting yourself up for failure. Now it's going to always be awkward. It's going to always be tension. And you open the door for your family to feel like they can have an opinion on what is going on in your marriage. So I don't agree with that. I'm not involving my mama or whoever. Once I get in a relationship, a real one, the last times I was, my mother don't be in my business like that. Like randomly, I might talk to her about something, but best believe if I'm telling my mother talking some shit about a ninja, that means that I don't ever plan on really taking him seriously or being with him, because I can't look my mother in the face. This is just me personally. My pride and my ego is something ridiculous sometimes. I'm just gonna be honest. So I can't be like, he did this to me and that, and then bring him to the family function. I'm gonna be feeling crazy. First of all, my mother, everybody gonna be looking at me crazy. Not my father. Oh Jesus, it's a fire. My father for sure is gonna be like, he ain't gonna say that, but he gonna be looking at me like, what is you doing? Ain't nobody got time to be looking crazy and having to explain myself. So just keep your family out your business.
Talking with y'all?
Yes. When we came back, well, one, she was in the session beforehand. She was Danae would have personal sessions with the therapist. And then we got back joint with the same therapist. She said, why is your mother in the same room as your counseling? Exactly. Do you not have a boundary with your mother? Why is she in there? That was the first.
He actually has 2 daughters and 1 son.
Time. And then after that, when we was going to reconcile, we came together with our pastor, because we had the same pastor, and we sat down. Her mom came and sat in on our family restoration session or what have you. I understand.
That's inappropriate. Why is your mother sitting in your counseling with your husband? I don't like that. I do not like that. I don't like it not one bit.
Stand to a degree though, because she's seen her daughter go through so much. No. Any parent, I'm sure myself, it would be like, nah, whatever it takes. I don't care what rules I'm breaking. Don't tell me no Bible verses. I'm here to make sure my baby is good. But she was as much as part of the marriage as me and Danae were, probably even more.
Well, you said she's sitting in the couch.
The mother-in-law was even more a part of the marriage than you and Danae. Something is not right over there. I don't know what the hell they got going on, but something is not right. And when this girl be saying that she went to counseling and all this, girl, you talking to the people in the church and in the cult and in the pulpit. You need to go to somebody who actually got a degree. Not that. Ooh.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so it was kind of crazy.
Was there any type of abuse that would allow her to want to step?
Not abuse, man. With no physical abuse. If you consider cheating abuse, and especially emotional, it definitely caused trauma. But nothing where she was like in danger. Her and her mom, this is just my belief, have a weird relationship. It's more like girlfriends, because they're only like 15 years apart, 16 years apart. But her mother from day one didn't like me. And I think whenever I hurt Danae, it's like, oh, see, I was right.
She didn't like you because she saw the dog in you. Ain't nothing but the dog in you. She saw the dog in you. Doggy, doggy, dog, dog, dog.
Yeah, confirmation.
And so that's an all access pass.
And then, of course, that's confirmation bias, because when you already believe something, any little thing is going to be, I told you, I told you, I told y'all niggas, I told y'all.
To stay in the relationship no matter what. My belief was, I've done my wrong, but we as adults, we're 30-something years old, we're not children. And we have professionals that are involved.
Right.
We have godly counsel that's involved, and we've both professed our lives.
Yes, hit the fucking like button. I'm glad y'all here, because I love me a looky-loo, because I love me a clicking a view. But pay the entry fee to my house. It's free $99, and hit the motherfucking like button, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, because I need to be up in this algorithm. Okay, thank you.
To be, Jesus, like we Jesus, our Lord and Savior. So this is we going by this construct now. It's time for mom to get some healthy separation.
Which is leaving and cleaving.
So love on, I'm talking to Danae because honestly, she's the gatekeeper. But to that point, yes, she was with her mom. Her mom would often speak over her while we were on the phone. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And then, that's one of those things that I still got to work on my heart.
I'm not into that. I'm sorry. And I would not be with no man whose mama is all up in my business. I'm just not doing it. It never gave that. Like, you cannot. And a lot of mothers are like that. Like, they really don't understand their place. And it's up to the kid, the child, especially when you become an adult, to set healthy boundaries. I've had to go through it. It was not easy. Like they was crying, cussing. I wasn't cussing, but I was getting cussed out. It was a lot that was going on, but I had to establish those boundaries with my parents because as the eldest child, we did have, a close relationship where I grew up seeing a lot. Like, I was overexposed to a lot of things. They would talk to me about things. So once I started to live my own life, of course, they feel like it's free reign. Like, oh, you want to do what I told you to do, and you don't need to do this and that. And I'm like, nah, bruh, nah, sis. This is me talking to my mother and my father. Like, this ain't what's about to happen. I'm a grown woman. I pay my own rent. I pay my own bills. Sometimes my father, he be giving me my I can't even lie. I'm kind of spoiled a little bit. I can't even lie. My parents, they literally pay a bill or two sometimes. I can't lie, but y'all picking up what I'm putting down. I'm a grown woman, okay?
Because I can say when I mentioned that your whole, I said, is he finna cry or he finna get mad?
Well, look, I'm not trying to stir up nothing because again, I get her mother's
participation. The reason why
I get
it was to be protective,
but then sometimes and then I was right, and that's the kind of thing that's going on. But to your point, the entire time we were trying to restore. All the way from February, March. Now we done flew over to churches. There's a lot that's going on.
She said that she gave you some homework assignment. She was like, I want to see you get stronger with build your relationship with God, get some accountability around you, be more present in your kids' life because like most men, they get to working and doing all this type of stuff. That she said she wants you to be more intentional on spending time with your kids. And I think there's one other thing. Are those true? Those three things.
To a degree, it wasn't to spend time with the kids, and then we kind of had a little back and forth about that because I love spending time with the kids. If they're ever around us, you'll see they gravitate towards me because I love my kids, and that was the whole plan is to get back to where we can both be in. But yes, for a time, I'm gonna be away from the house most of the day, so I had about an hour or two per day of quality time that I could do, and on the weekends a little bit more. But what I understood what she was saying because I don't want to speak for her, was her saying, I want you to do some of the things with the kids, like wake them up, get them to school, pick them up.
The daily task.
And we had a little bit of a beef about that. Cause I'm like, hold on.
You work from home. I mean, I guess she was working, but she was a stay-at-home wife, but then she would help you on some back-end stuff. You see,
these men, when they the breadwinner, they don't want to really children. They do not want to do it. Get somebody else to do it. That's basically what he just said. Oh, you want me to spend more than 25 minutes with my kids per 3 days? Oh, you got the game fucked up. This is not what we discussed. And when you have money, and this is why they be like, oh, high value men and this, a lot of them be fucking trash because they feel like they just come to you with a dick in their hand and a wallet in the other. And that's all they feel like they have to provide. Like, I got money, I got a wallet, but then it's like, yo, I'm working too, bruv. Like, what are we really doing here? I just look...
And that's your role. You got the time for it. Let me go hunt.
It was a plan. Yeah. And the plan wasn't just that she be at, because that's a hard job.
Yeah.
2 young kids, 2 under 2. But I had already invested in the private school, $2,500 a month. So 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. She
for some 2-year-olds?
Two.
That was a lot. $2,500 a month for toddlers. So that's daycare, basically. He's calling it private school. I mean, that's daycare. But so this means that she has a free, 8 hours? This is what they're going to go on to explain. And then he's like, basically like, well, what are you doing all day? And it's just, and then he was talking about how he had a staff that he was spending $70,000 a month on. So what the fuck was he doing all day? Y'all got to really use y'all brains because the more money you make, the more freedom you have, the more free time you have because you're delegating. People are hired to do the actual labor. You don't do nothing but like maybe send some emails, check to make sure that everything is running smoothly. But if you are like the head of CEO of a corporation, you're not actually out here doing a bunch of hard work. And they lie like a Persian rug.
At this point, I think one was just turned 3, Molly just turned 3, and DJ was 1.5 going on 2.
You had some little kids in private school?
In private school. There's a little Goddard school down there because it was too young for pre-K. So it was a daycare, but it was a private school. They had a curriculum and everything else.
So they would go there Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day.
8 hours a day. So what was Danae doing then?
So this was our conversation where we clashed on exactly what all she was doing. Because then we had babysitters. So she had raised some of these issues like, hey, the house is too big to clean. I'm really exhausted with the kids every day. So
I look, I told y'all I'm not one for all of that domestic shit. Fuck that. That's why I'm working. I'm building. Because once I do have a kid, I'm hiring help. And I don't know why they try to make it seem like you lazy and you're busted and disgusted if you hire somebody to do domestic work. Because the rich and the wealthy, they don't do domestic work. They have maids, they have butlers, they have nannies, they have somebody cutting the grass, they have gardeners, they have chefs. They not out here doing all of that. They don't do that. Now, this is not me saying that I won't clean my house if it need to be cleaned, or I won't. But no, for the majority, like once I have a home and I'm having running operation, I'm going to employ people. Period. I like to cook, so I'll do that. I'll probably be cooking a lot. But other than that, we hiring some help. They trick us into thinking that we don't deserve that. And that means we're lazy or something, when that's not true. Because when you got money, you could pay for that. And you can free up your time to get to the bag even more, to enjoy your family even more. Is y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Period.
I already had said, okay, I understand. All I need you to do is tell me. So I made the investment for private school, for the sitter, for the cleaning service to come twice a week. And whenever she had these demands, I'm like, look, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it back in your good graces, whatever. But I also want to be reasonable. If I'm working, paying every bill, you don't have to touch anything, whatever. And that includes the fun stuff and investing in this soft life thing. What are you going to be doing? That's what I asked. Because by this time, she's not working with the company anymore, actually. She wasn't working anymore. She had been said, I want to do my own thing. So I was like, whatever you want to do, I'll invest in. I want to support you. So I'm like, you're not working in the business.
So what did you do?
My whole thing is, how long was she working in the business for? And why didn't she have her own salary for working in your business to build your dreams? You see how men dupe us? They literally get us to be their secretary, to be their helpmate, to be their assistants, but we don't get paid. I did that. And I'm going to tell y'all, I'll be giving y'all my own motherfucking tea. I literally was working for my ex-boyfriend, and he did not pay me a damn thing. He even would shoot music videos, and he had a girl that he paid to be in his music video. He had a stylist that was his best friend that he paid to help style him. Once it came to me, I was in the video for free. He didn't pay me. I helped to style and scout locations. He didn't pay me. It was just an assumption that I was just supposed to help out. And then when push comes to shove, it's like, well, I did this for you and I did this. Nigga, I gave you free labor. Men will use you to the gristle for some free labor and then turn around and act like, oh, well, what are you going to be doing? Sir, give me my money that I earned for working for you so I can go and do whatever it is that I want to do. Talking about you investing in my business. No, I invested in yours and then I get paid. So, I mean, you owe me.
Clothing shop or something?
Nothing at all at this point. She had talked about real estate and I paid for whatever it took for that, but she didn't really pursue it. I think at this point, she actually started doing the travel thing with her mom. And so, you know, I helped what I could with that.
What travel thing? Is a travel agency?
She had a travel agency with her mom. Her mom and her had their own business, what have you. So yeah, that was our clash. And I'm like, I don't think this is helpful. And I don't think this is sustainable because I'm not with this. I'm going to pay for everything and but then still get up in the morning, get the kids or whatever. I want to spend time with my children, but not
this is annoying me because it's like she works for you. How much y'all, this is making me mad because he's really sitting up here acting like he built this whole empire on his own. And I know for sure, I could bet my bottom dollar Danae helped to write those books that he was publishing. She helped to come up with and curate everything within his brand. She said that she was booking his speaking engagements. She literally was wearing many hats for this man for years. And just because he was paying the overhead, she didn't even know where the money was going. She said she wasn't even privy to like the accountant. She didn't really know anything about that. How much would he have had to pay someone to do the jobs that she was doing for free in the name of being his wife?
Take on responsibilities because at the end of the day, we still got work to do. So I forget where we was at with it, but that was what we had to clash. Her list of homework included some things that we didn't necessarily agree on, but I didn't need her to tell me to get closer I was trying to pursue God at this point for myself. And I think it helped that she saw a lot of that initiative on my own. Because one of the pastors that she watches on TV, and then I end up popping up with
That's what she said. She said she was watching YouTube or watching something. You popped up down there at the altar in the service or something.
Yeah, I didn't leave him alone. Because
she said you was like, I'm finna start following this minister around. That's what you started doing?
Something to that degree. We developed a rapport. So she didn't mention, I didn't watch the whole thing, by the way, so I could be wrong, but.
All right, let's do it.
You start.
Recordings.
trying to skip through it because it's kind of long. But y'all, this is just gonna be a little lengthy, y'all. It's all right because we in the building.
You connect with the
And I
spiritual
went
leader.
head first into it, man. I made friends with pastors. Willie
So
Moore.
now he's talking about like when he was trying to rekindle their marriage after they had already been married for like almost a year, and he was doing all of the things on her checklist. Like I said, he was the love bomber. He was the I'm gonna do everything and I'm gonna be a stand-up guy so I could get back in your good graces. That's when he stepped up and was trying to show her that he was worthy. A lot of men love rejection. They like the art of the chase. And then this is why men like to play tit for tat. And a lot of men like it when you treat them like shit and ghost them and don't talk to them, because men are natural hunters. Yes, we know that. But sometimes they get stale. When they feel like they got you, then it's like, oh, I could play in your face. Like, this ain't even a challenge no more. On to the next. And then once you pull back, it's like a push and pull. And this is what it seems like they were doing. And the only way that she could get him to pay her mind or to do what she wanted him to do was to weaponize the kids and to ghost him and to leave town and to go to her mother and pulling out all the stops. It's like, if you got to do all that, get somebody else to do it. Let's just move forward. Give me that cash. Give me some alimony. Give me some child support, because I'm going to dig deep up in your pockets and I'm going to recoup what the hell I work for, okay? Yes. And don't let bygones be bygones, because this is just too much.
Junior, I was reached out to him as a man of God, and I was like, man, what group are you a part of where y'all stay on the straight and narrow?
Yeah.
And they didn't know anything about any of this.
Yeah.
I was pursuing this. I'm like, I don't want to mess this up again, you know? So anyway, what was the question again?
So you started working towards that. And then July, you said what?
Because we were discussing my birthday, and she was like, I'm not seeing you for your birthday. And I was like, abandonment still hurting. Yeah. I ain't healed nothing to do with abandonment wound at this point.
Who got time for this? This is why I don't do relationships. Who is doing all of this? Get somebody else to do it. Oh, we got to call and have the communication, and we got to talk about. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone. Like, can we just move on? I don't want to dwell. I don't want to keep with the back and the forth.
So I was like, my birthday? I was like, can I at least see my babies? You know what I'm saying? Can I do that? Well, I'm taking them to a church event. I was so beside myself. So
she was weaponizing those kids like a mug.
Time, my birthday time, that's doing an interview. And I'm like, I ain't got time for this. I'm just like, man, I ain't got time for this. I done got beat up fighting for this family. I done got beat up in grief. I done got, the financial piece, because I had to work to eat. So I kept payroll.
He lied so bad. This man lied like a goddamn Persian rug, like he was fighting so hard, trying to get it through the mud for his family. I don't believe none of this. I don't believe him. Oh my God. He got some media training. She did say that they met with a media coach and a PR person to try to clean up the scandal when Tasha K initially exposed him. And this is like rehearsed. This is very performative. Like, I don't believe shit this man is saying. I don't believe it. I want to get to where he like texted her he wanted a divorce. We trying to find that part.
And polygamous, but I was like, that's not me. I know, like you're about to say, what you touched on, what that did to my soul. It grieves my soul. So my question to you is, why couldn't you just do that with your next wife if you decide to get married again?
Oh, so basically he's asking him about polygamy and like, Derrick said, Danae said that I was going to be able to step out. That girl was so desperate for that man. God damn. I don't want to be in love. Woo. Anyways. She was so obsessed and desperate. Honestly, if this man was like, all right, I'm going to get back with you, she would go right back. She would welcome him with open arms. She would. Damn. Like, to love somebody that much more than you love yourself. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I have not been back and forth to the motherfucking ghetto toxic circus, because I have. I ain't going to sit up here and lie. I'm going to tell the truth. I have. But all of this, it never gave that. I'm sorry. Because first of all, whoever because I'm gonna always have me somebody else in the queue. You got me fucked up if you think I'm gonna be out here looking this crazy.
The variety of vagina never pulled me. It wasn't like it was more so physical. It was emotional. I was soothing whenever I slept around. That I had when basically like this. Okay, so when the times where I was faithful, like I might spend 6 months here, 8 months here, whatever, 3 months. When I was happy, I curved girls that most guys would do anything to get next to.
Right.
But it was when I was unhappy for an extended amount of time, I would at least open the door to have conversations and start there. And then it would go all the
see how he's always putting it on her, like the cause of his unhappiness was basically her. He doesn't take any accountability. It's like he's admitting what he's doing while actively blaming Danae in the circumstance and the fucking weather and the dog and the person up the street and the mother and the pastor at the church. Everybody is at fault. What in the y'all men are
way there. A perfect world for me, man, because I don't mind the same vagina over and over again. When I'm in love, it feel new to me every single time. I was fine physically, and I mean, this is why we stay connected in that way. There wasn't a complaint there,
right?
And I want to be respectful to her as a woman because she's not my person anymore, and I'm somebody else's wife eventually. But that wasn't my complaint. My complaint was how cold it felt, and honestly, I used to say it. I felt more lonely and single than when I was single. In the relationship, just that rejection, that was just the way that she coped and did her own thing. But that was the
so that's why he cheated, because he felt rejected by Danae. Shame. Ooh, there's a piece of hair attached to it. Shame on you, Derrick Jaxn, for not taking accountability. You done sat up here and blamed every goddamn body, but
part I really wanted. In a perfect world, I didn't feel that. Now, in a realistic world, as a man, I should have had better coping strategies as opposed to coping with women or anything that was going to compromise my vows. I should have been equipped and prepared more to deal with that or to leave if I was just so unhappy. But I didn't take that responsibility.
How are you reconciling that, being the voice for caring for a woman's heart, but then privately?
Wait, well, at least he did just say, I should have just left. At least he just said that. I'll give him that. Because eventually he did leave. He was the one to file for divorce. Otherwise, she would still be there taking it like a goddamn lapdog. That poor woman.
Destroying the woman you had at home.
Resentment. That was the denial I needed. It was like if you would do anything and feel like you right in doing it, if you feel hurt enough, pissed off enough, disrespected or taken for granted enough. These were a lot of the things that I was saying to her, like, man, you taking me for granted. And nothing to do with nothing physical or superficial. It was like how much I'm sacrificing for you, da-da-da-da. But one thing I didn't understand, man, is...
Did we just say she was taking him for granted and how much he sacrificed for her? What in the... What? Yo, we can't make this up, y'all. We cannot make this up.
She wasn't experiencing that. She was, it was like, it's kind of like if you ever been down on yourself, like, man, life is so bad because you got into it with whoever. But then you got to really think like, nah, man, my kids is good. My roof is over my head. I got blood in my, I'm alive. So it's like objectively some things are true, but you're not experiencing it based on what you done focused on. And what I didn't learn until way later was that she never experienced all of these things that was on my mind that I was personalizing that she didn't appreciate. So in a perfect world, man, like it's just I one woman, that's what I want. And the last couple of years of the marriage, that's what I stuck to, no matter how I felt. And I know and apparently the world feels differently.
So you saying, right? When you say the last years, we'll get to there. So you get this lady, she does this interview. What did she say in this interview?
I didn't watch that interview either.
Why when you watch? How could you not watch a video of somebody talking about you and everybody?
I was broke down, brother. I was at my limit. I had just lost two very important people in my life. I already had jacked up my family and we were trying to get it back together. I got a baby on the way. The finances is tricky because I can't even work consistently. Danae at that time, like she was still healing a lot. So I had become the primary parent for the elder children. They went to the gym with me. I did get them up and brush their teeth and put them to bed and all these different things, taught them and resolve conflict. And so there's so much.
Okay, so you were a parent. Oh, so you basically had to step up and be a parent. Oh, okay. Even though they was in school, but that was $2,500 for 8 hours a day, you still had to parent them. Okay, but yet you was questioning what the hell Danae was doing when they was in school. Oh, so you recognize when you have to do it, that just because they go to school and come home, you still got to parent. Oh.
Much pressure on me just as a man. And then throughout that process, because I was the wrongdoer, all of my feelings were obsolete. And now it was okay. Like, screw how you feel.
Yeah.
You hurt her. And so I felt, even more invisible. This goes back to the first counseling session we did, feeling invisible, to childhood. It's like, man, I'm repetitively feeling alone. So as we coming back, and I know they done did, I'm like, I can't think straight. We get back, and I know I'm gonna face my audience instead of, being further more cowardly than I already had been. Because no matter what, I want to walk according to what I think is the right thing to do. I faced them that night, but I only talked to what I did in the separation. I didn't tell them I had cheated in the marriage as well. So I was like, again, I want to do this. I want to do this again. And I offered for her to have a voice if she wanted to. Part of our counseling was her having a voice. She wanted more of a voice. She said, yeah. And then that's when we did the video.
In the video, how do you feel about how she represented herself in that video? Well, because you remember, you're the face of this brand, to have her on there where now she's been attacked from the bonnet, which was something very intentional that I was when she came on the podcast. I said, Danae, listen, the last time, I understand how triggering these moments are. I said, so I'm gonna get a makeup artist. I'm gonna get somebody to make sure you look right. I don't want nobody criticizing you on my platform.
Look, this strange man had more regard for this man's wife, knowing how critical and how the internet will chew you the fuck out based off of your appearance. He had more care and more regard and more respect for her than her own goddamn husband, than somebody that she knew since she was in college. Y'all see how that go? That's
form. Why didn't you give her that same level of care to make sure that when she represented herself, she was representing the best light?
Hey guys, what's up? It is your girl Rashida Frost, and yes, I am.
I really want to hear his answer to this. Let's see how he deflect on this one and pussyfoot around this question and make it her fault. Oh, well, she was ready to come out and she didn't care about it.
Her and felt like she needed makeup. I didn't feel like that was the missing piece in her being presentable or beautiful. I still, honestly, bro, I don't look at that video of what she had on and see anything wrong.
Derrick, shut the hell up. You're lying like a goddamn, he making me mad. He know good and goddamn well you are in this entertainment media, social media, public fucking space. Everybody needs to be presentable, especially since we ain't even know you had a wife for all of the years your funky ass done been out here on these internet streets. Oh, she didn't need makeup. This is the type of guy that's so insecure that he will have you looking crazy. He will be feeding you all types of calories and lard and butter and sugar just so you can look crazy so nobody else will find you appealing. That's what it's given. Because he knows when he go and do his speaking engagements, he don't come out with no raggedy ass, lengthy ass shirt. He ain't out here without a sharp fade, a sharp lineup. He not out here with clothes that look unkempt. So if it doesn't matter, why do you dress yourself appropriately? Why do you make sure that you're presentable? Like, it missed me with this. That's BS.
The only thing I can see now from the outside is her body language. And I knew what that was because of, but people in real life didn't know. Both of us were shattered. I'm a bit more poised probably in front of the camera, and also I'm more functional. Like, even when I'm not okay, I look okay. But she was showing it,
right?
But for different reasons.
She was pregnant at the time. No one knew she was pregnant at the time.
Knew she was pregnant, and she was somewhat grieving because she knew of my stepdad as well. So we're both coming from some really heavy stuff on top of her being pregnant. On top of this,
you're gonna force her looking the fuck crazy in front of a camera for millions of people to see and ridicule while she's going through all of that, looking that way. Yeah, you're a real stand-up guy. Stand up, superb.
Being a season of attempted reconciliation, and so we show up, and that way I didn't really. Again, it didn't stick out to me because this ain't my first time seeing her. Just, again, I think she's beautiful. And I appreciate what you did and making sure that she was protected. But I know afterwards, when we thought about doing some more conversations, I was like, oh, let's get PR. So our body language ain't the same because I don't want them to talk about you. We did a podcast for a little bit and I was like, I don't want them to talk about you. And I started looking at it from their lens. But at the time, man, I don't think she was thinking about herself. And me, I think I was so selfish in my own feelings. I wasn't thinking about her either.
Oh, okay. Well, at least he was able to get that out. Yes, you were selfish and you was not thinking about her. Thank you for at least saying that, because all this other, she didn't need this and she didn't. Sir, I wish I would.
How did you feel when the video dropped and people kept talking about her bonnet and they kept saying, I see why he cheated on her. I see why. And they started making the quote unquote victim. That's all we knew. We didn't know about what she was doing in a relationship. So now she's this victim and now they're victim blaming. She's the reason why her man is unhappy.
Did you just say that's all we knew because we didn't know what she was doing to you in a relationship? These ninjas is one and the same.
Happy. She's the reason why he's unfaithful, because look at how she presents herself. Of course, he's going to want one of these baddies that you see on Instagram. How did you feel seeing that?
First, I don't even know where to start. I put her in that position. So as much as I was looking at it and not liking this and that, I was like, my decisions. It's another reminder that my decisions put her in this place. Secondly, I think I just felt helpless, because typically I'm the one that like stands for people who get crucified wrongly, and especially women, but really anybody. I've stood for men too, but like here, I'm obsolete because I'm the one that caused it. Thirdly, there is no connection to a woman's looks and a man's integrity. One way or the other. She can't look good enough to make me a no man faithful.
Teach.
And she can't look bad enough to make us step out.
Teach.
So just in terms of what they were saying, I was like, that's bullshit. Like the most beautiful by society standards women have gotten cheated on.
Yep.
Because it's
but what it was a testament to how you feel about her. I feel like you hate me. A lot of these men out here hate our motherfucking guts. That does not mean that they won't sleep with you. It does not mean that they won't shoot your club up and steal your womb and use you. It doesn't mean that they won't like tell you they love you. A lot of these men hate us. You hate me. Like, why would you put me out there like that? I feel like that's hate. I just know that's hate, it's disregard, and it's disrespect.
It's not about her looks or her makeup. It's about my character.
Thank you.
Or lack thereof. So again, it sucked not being able to say that and stand for that. And I was appreciative of those who did, because they were doing what I couldn't do. And so it was really like, I mean, the shame that was already there, the guilt and all this other stuff. And then you add in the ripple effect of now family is getting involved. Her mother is, I mean, you talking about might as well moved in. It was so much that went on. I just like totally now I'm obsolete and I'm moving myself, and I'm fine with that. Because I need to make sure she's okay to healthily carry this baby. Because she's pregnant still. We still got to go to these doctor's appointments.
Yep.
She still got to keep an appetite. I've been in the middle of scrutiny and I was fine with that. Like, man.
So honestly, it seems like he just wanted to protect his legacy, because that's what women provide. People be, oh, what you bring to the table? Bitch, legacy. Your last name, your likeness will not carry on without the womb of a woman, period. And Danae literally helped him build this empire. The multi-millions that he claimed to have, she helped him. She was a helpmate.
Talk about me. One, I deserve it. Two, I'm kind of used to it. But I'm used to it on that level, though. Even on that level, because people love Derrick Jaxn. It's a lot of men that didn't like you, but women love you. Look at your social media following. I mean, when did you ever have 1 million people following you? That's a lot of people. That even when the video came out, people still, I would hear people say, I don't care what he did to his wife. I still find value in what he's saying, because he helped me through this and he helped me through this, and his video helped me get out this toxic relationship. So no matter how much the world crashed down on you by that, you still had, and I still say the overwhelming majority of people are women that still was advocating for you.
I feel a little differently, man. I think not only advocating for me, I think they were advocating for what I stood for, and that it didn't just wash that away. What I've gotten from them anyway, because I had people that turned on me, and I totally understand. But the people that in real life or even online, they were like, that doesn't take away from your truth. But for me, again, I had rumors go viral about me before. People just don't remember because I wasn't as big, but I've seen tens of thousands of people unfollow me before because they thought Danae was white and I didn't date black women. So I already kind of knew, but I also think—
And the fact that she was a black woman also helped to add to your brand. It was a scheme that Todd set up. We're going to leave this here. because I don't want this to go over an hour. And we're going to do part 3 mañana. I love y'all so much. Let me write down where we left off at. Because we're going to come back and finish this. Because it's long. And yeah. Okay, so this is 57. 32. All right. Let me see what y'all saying for a minute, and then we're gonna come back tomorrow. We'll do part 3, and then I saw someone say that they wanted to do a call-in, so we'll finish the rest of the vid, and then I'll open up the call lines and we could get into it. First of all, get into my makeup. I tried a couple of new techniques, and I was like, ooh, yes, it's given. The entitlement getting from me from which mean? Child, what God was he pursuing? I don't know. Or was Cynthia G and was here and she would go off on him. If she ever talked to him, lie, and you, Miss Jones, would give him I ain't get it, boo. He sucks. That's how I feel. Jeez. Looks fabulous. Thank you. Clowns in the circus. That part. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I love y'all so much. Show up as her, be her. Show up as him, be him. Thank you for joining me this evening. I will see you guys again soon. Like, comment, subscribe, share, because I know that you care. I love y'all so much on my day ones. I really do appreciate y'all rocking with me. And like I said, do that fucking girl. All right? Period. Don't let nobody tell you who you are. Don't let nobody tell you what to do unless they got that back. Now, if you got some coins, then I might listen to your little song. Don't take no advice from nobody that you wouldn't want to follow behind in their footsteps, okay? He'll be going to rehab soon for sex addiction. Ooh, that's the next cleanup tool, right? That's what they did with Tiger Woods because he couldn't keep it in his pants. He talking about he want to be with one woman. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe nothing that man says. I feel like he lie like a Persian rug. All he do is lie. Like, honestly, lies on top of lies on top of lies on top of, what am I saying? Lies on top of lies. I said lies on type of lies. Anyways, all right. Y'all already know what I'm going to say. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. Bye, love bugs. I will see you guys soon. Ow.